Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my Forbes colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thanks so much for coming on once again.
Thanks for having me on once again, Brittany.
I want to extend a happy election night to you. And on this election night, you wrote an interesting piece entitled this: Even on election day, Trump is hawking his merch. So first, talk about the message he was sending his supporters.
Yeah, the take home is that Trump's going to Trump, always be selling. The message that came out had the subject matter, let's make history together today. So when I looked at it, I figured it was something along the lines of, donate more money. It was, maybe do you need a ride to the polls? Maybe encourage your friends to go vote for me as well. But no, when I looked in, the email actually came from the Trump store, not the Trump campaign. And the content said, do your part in making America great. And by doing your part, they apparently mean buying merchandise like a 45 branded pickleball paddle for $180, or some Trump 45 sneakers for $225, or an auto-signed copy of a coffee table book with photos that are in the public domain for about $500. So that is how you can do your part for America by buying any of those items or dozens more at thetrumpstore.com.
Pretty expensive price tags there, especially on that pickleball paddle. But where exactly is the money going? Is the Trump store connected to the Trump campaign at all?
No. The Trump store is connected to Donald J. Trump's pocket, which honestly the campaign sometimes is also connected to his pocket, but that does not run the other way, at least not this campaign. So this is all a for-profit play. They were advertising MAGA-themed merch, including hats that had not just 45 stitched into the side, but 47 too, implying that they are already have merch that they are selling based on him winning a second term.
It sounds, based on this messaging, that the lines are a little fuzzy here, to say the least. And you and I talk about this all the time when it comes to money in politics. Is this illegal? Is this just unethical? I mean, where's the line? What does that look like?
It's never been done before, except for by him in his previous administration. Presidents would always put their assets in a blind trust. Jimmy Carter famously sold his peanut farm. Well, Donald Trump didn't do that. They had that big press conference in January of 2017 at Trump Tower, where he had like this huge stack of folders that purportedly had the documents in there showing how he was turning everything over to Eric and Don Jr. That, of course, didn't happen. We found out the trust he was putting things in was not blind. Pretty obvious that Donald Trump is going to know that, the Trump Hotel is his hotel. And he could take profits out at any given time. So they didn't even do that. And then they just continued to milk, the taxpayers, supporters, other countries, left and right throughout the administration for money.
So let's take a trip down memory lane, if you will, 2017 to the beginning of 2021. This is what you wrote in your piece. You wrote this, quote, Donald Trump fell far short of his promise to separate his businesses from his administration. So remind us of that entanglement during his first term.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, they had that hotel here in D.C. that opened shortly before he was elected on Pennsylvania Avenue, and they had a director of embassy sales. Now, they had hired this person before he was elected, but if you've got a director of embassy sales out there and it's the president's hotel, that's clearly looking for some business there from foreign governments. One of my favorite examples, and it is a very minor one in terms of money, but they were selling a set of soaps, and one of the bars of soaps was actually in a wrapper that had the White House sketched out on it. They had a whole line of merchandise based on DC iconic imagery right there, which was clearly related to the presidency. If you're buying Trump soap and Trump is the president and Trump's, and the White House is on it, it's not too hard to put all that together. So after I reported on that, they actually took the wrapper off that bar of soap. The rest of the soaps, the three bars in the set, two of them would have wrappers, and the middle one was D White House, and that would come without a wrapper. But there are just a lot of examples of that. His the presidential seal, which they're not supposed to use without express consent, has showed up on golf markers at his golf courses. Now, that happened while he was in the White House. ProPublica and WNYC reported on that, and they pulled them. But after Trump left the White House, they returned, and I think we found them at 5 or 6 different clubs at this point are all using that. So no shortage of him using White House imagery there to line his own pocket.
And now you're seeing this again on election day. But has anyone associated with the Trump campaign, a Trump spokesperson, anyone like that commented on this?
No, I reached out and didn't hear back, which is, not too surprising. They're probably busy with other things. It is not the first time I've reached out to them on these sort of things. It's not the first time that articles like this one have been written about them. So, probably not decided it wasn't their best use of their time to respond to me, sadly. So, we don't have their input, but they keep doing it, and I don't think this is going to change anything. They do retreat a little bit sometimes, but like taking the wrapper off the soap, but they still keep pushing it out there. And I think we're going to see if he does get elected, we're going to see a lot more of this in the second term.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because you're saying they keep doing this. So there is an indication you believe that this pattern is going to continue should Donald Trump win a second term.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they never really stopped after the first term. They just kind of doubled down on it. At this point, there was no threat of, him not getting reelected by them doing these sort of things. So, one of the things that really stuck out from the first term was when he tried to have the G7 at Doral, his golf club in the Miami area. And there was enough pushback on that they did retreat. I mean, my thought is in a second term, there wouldn't be the pushback. And he doesn't need to care. He's not up for reelection again. Why not just have it there and insist on it? And who cares? So I think we're going to see, him even pushing it more so. I don't think they gave some lip service to being separated last time. I don't think they would give that much lip service this time.
So what you're saying is you don't think that they would take that soap wrapper off this time around?
No, exactly. Good point. Yes, I kind of wish I had bought one just as a collector's item. But, essentially they have there's a box full of White House soap wrappers someplace in the Trump store supply closet. So we may very well see those come back out on the market.
Well, Zach Everson, another election night, and that means we will have plenty of money in politics conversations ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.